What's up, motherfuckers?
What up?
Hey.
We're fucking back for another episode number 15.
15?
Yeah. Yeah, 15. It's
Hey,
Mike,
going
that's the one after 14.
Yeah, that's why. There they are. Yeah, I just can't believe it.
I know. It's been insane. So this one, we are doing Dolly Dearest.
My God. This one,
The Chucky
one
knockoff.
was-
Yay.
this one was definitely a trip.
I don't feel like it's a Chucky knockoff.
Any movie with a doll that kills people is a Chucky knockoff.
No, they missed the best tagline.
What?
It's basically The Exorcist meets Child's Play. That's like the best thing. That's like as accurate as I can make. With a lot less.
I mean, technically, the killer doll thing was way before Chucky because you had the puppet in the movie Magic that had Anthony Hopkins from the early 70s. Had a killer ventriloquist doll. And you also had a episode of Twilight Zone that was very popular that had a killer doll in that. And I think that was all the way back to the 60s.
Let me recant myself. They're only good.
Hey, Magic was good. If you haven't seen the movie Magic, watch it. It's got a very, very young Anthony Hopkins, and it's about a killer ventriloquist doll, and that doll is creepy as shit. So, if you've never seen Magic, it's worth watching it. I think it's actually on Tubi for free.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
So this one, I liked it. I watched it as a kid, obviously. I was terrified of this fucking movie. I mean, I was thoroughly petrified of this movie.
The movie was good. For me, like this, whatever the phrase. I'm gonna screw the phrase up. Don't yell at me too much. It's like the sum is not as good as the overall. What's the phrase? The whole of its parts is better than the sum. Whatever the hell I'm trying to say, right? It's like
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Like taking the whole movie by itself, but there's definite creepy parts that were definitely petrified. Well done, but I don't think. But I think taken overall for the entire duration, I think definitely dragging some parts for me.
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts?
Yes, that's what it was.
Good job. Look at you.
The parts it did well. The parts it did well, it did amazing. The rest, kind of draggy.
Aristotle.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
the more you know.
I give it a lot of bonus points for the design of the doll because that doll was fucking terrifying.
They did good in the design. The design was great. That's one of the pluses I have. What
up, Ben? That fucking doll. I mean, you got to think about it. I think when I first watched this, I was like maybe 7 or 8 whenever I first watched this for the first time, and it scared the shit out of me. It made me terrified of porcelain dolls. I was not scared of Chucky, but she fucking terrified me. If there was any doll that even looked halfway resembled her, I damn near peed my pants and was screaming and running, trying to hide. Terrified.
They did a great job. They made the voice, like the micro facial expressions, like it looked like an old lady and a doll, like the way they did the face, like the way they did the face. I mean, it was just that was one of the ones that they got right. One of the
it was just, and when she was angry and all the nasty wrinkles and like you could clearly see that it was like demonically possessed was just fucking intense. Like
it was
intense.
Giving Reagan.
Now,
if they just would have kept it just like a stoic, happy face, I don't think it would have been as effective. The fact that they actually made, like you said, the crinkly forehead, the wrinkles, the angry old look. Yeah, no, that's what definitely did. That's what definitely put it over the top.
Yeah, I mean there wasn't a lot of kill scenes. It was not overly gory. There was a few parts that were like, ugh, you know. But I mean, one of the things I wish they would have got into the doll part a little bit more, because you really didn't see the major essence of the doll until pretty much the very end. Which, yes, they did that with the very first Child's Play. They did the same thing where you only seen bits and pieces of Chucky moving at first, but then you got, the big shebang at the end, which they did a little bit more. I feel like Child's Play got the idea of the multiple Chuckies from this because there was multiple dolls in this, that the whole damn warehouse was, possessed by, this one demonic entity that was supposedly be like an Aztec devil child, I think is what they called it. It was some type of like, dark demonic god. I like the backstory to it. I thought it was cool that a very young Rip Torn was in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys got to know Rip Torn from Men in Black.
Yep.
He was Agent Z.
Mm-hmm.
He was Zed. Yep.
Yeah. So Rip Torn was in it. The overall start was kind of slow getting into it. I mean, they did get you started off already right off the bat when he was opening the tomb, and then that released, the spirit of the demon, because that tomb was what was keeping it in. Mm-hmm. So you got the point of the story right off the bat, which I do like when they do that. I hate when they draw out, the whole story until the very fucking end. It's like give us a basis here of why the fuck this is happening, because we're all kind of goddamn lost. But this movie, it didn't do that. It put it to you pretty much right off the bat.
Yep.
Like I said, it was a little slow getting into, but what kill scenes that there were, which is not too many, there was not a lot of kill scenes in this. It really made up for it. I think they spent most of their money on just the design of the doll and all the animatronics, because there was a lot of dolls and a lot of doll scenes. I mean, I know you've got a big point of view, Mike, so go. I want to hear your viewpoints on this movie.
I mean, again, when I got down to watching it, it's like, okay, it's creepy. I can see why it has a following. Well, like I said, and you already kind of touched upon that, not very many kills, definitely slow in some parts. I think it gets unfairly compared to Child's Play. I don't think it was meant to be a clone. It was its own thing. Demonic possession. It wasn't like an old killer. It wasn't possessed by like an old killer. The doll itself wasn't supposed to have the most expressive personality like Chucky, which is fine. But again, just, creep. But again, a little bit too slow in some parts for me to be, effective throughout the whole thing. But what it did right, and knocked it out of the park. Design of the doll, the scene with Denise Crosby is in the basement, right? She's walking towards the chair. The camera slowly swivels around and you see the doll. The doll's talking to her. Yeah, it does those parts really well. But again, it's just, even taken on its own, they could have maybe added a few more kills, or maybe added, some, just a little more spice to it. I think a little extra flavor.
Yeah, I would like to see it redone.
They could probably do a lot. They could probably do a lot with it if they redid this, and the setting too. Here's the thing: like, does it take like it takes? It just looks just. I don't know. I just don't like the overall. I don't want to say lighting, not the lighting per se, just where it took place. There's just nothing stands out. It's just very just droll. Like the whole like atmosphere. It's just very just nothing. It's hard to explain.
I get what you're saying with it. I get what you're.
I
right.
mean, I don't know what the word is.
It didn't get exciting till like the last 15 minutes of the fucking movie.
It's a very droll atmosphere, right? Which I get it. That's what I mean. For a creepy doll movie, you're not going to have a bunch of neon lights and you know what I mean. But that being said, it's still just I think it was just missing something. Like I said, the sum was greater than the overall sum was better than the parts, I guess.
Yeah, I think the first like hour and 10 minutes, it kind of makes you feel like you're watching an old suspense thriller made by Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, which again, nothing against Hitchcock, but for something like this, it just didn't quite align. Yeah, that's probably the best thing I can say for it. It's just that slowish atmosphere, which doesn't quite align with this. And then the movie just ends. It also ends very abruptly too, right? Doesn't really waste time up, which is not a bad thing. Nothing's worse than horror movies that just or any movie, right? When it just you have a 20-minute epilogue for no reason at all. But that being said, it really when it ends, I mean, it's done. It's like explosion happens and then and roll credits. So again, just maybe I don't know what the budget is on this. I don't think it was much, right? I mean, it shows. And maybe if they had more money, they could have again fleshed out a little bit. So, but different. People watching this, if you haven't seen it, give it a shot. It's short. It's something different. Not a lot of doll movies out there.
All right, Mojo, I see it all over your face. What you got to say? I know you got a lot to say. I know you and Easy both too, so I'm going at you one at a time.
I actually thought it was kind of an interesting movie, to be honest. There was a whole bunch of different kind of layers to it. It wasn't just your normal, let's go in and freaking kill people and, slashity slash. There was a story behind it. Not only was the doll possessed, but the little girl was possessed by the spirit of the doll. So there was that part of it as well. There wasn't just like, it was kind of like the puppet aspect, but the doll was using the girl as a puppet.
Right.
There the three spirits that I kind of like that popped out at the beginning. It's just like, boom, there's these three little red lights flying everywhere. And then all of a sudden you have these like different dolls coming at you, but there was three main ones the whole entire time. So I kind of like that whole hidden story behind it. It wasn't just, let's go over here and shankety shank and kill and kill. And then there was the whole devil spirit part that I thought was kind of interesting and how they played it, to be. And when, what was it, the caretaker or the maid? She was, I guess, my favorite, I guess you would say, for the kill scene part of it. I mean, you can tell it was going down that route with, her, praying and then the whole devil spirit and all that. So I think the storyline was pretty good at it. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. It kept me interested.
Okay. So some little fun facts. The doll was actually played by Ed Gale.
Okay.
Was the doll
Chucky. Oh wow, not Chucky.
He's also Chucky and Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Ed Gale was the doll. It did have a small theatrical release only in the Midwest. Was it released in theaters? And it was actually credited by the creators of the movie Annabelle as inspiration for the movie Annabelle.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So that's just some of the little facts that I'm seeing on it. But the weird thing is it does not tell you what the budget was.
That low?
Which makes sense because Annabelle was very cringeworthy as well.
And here's what I didn't know. It was actually Dolly Dearest was released by Lionsgate.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
That's a pretty big company.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very big company. So I would think as being a Lionsgate release, it had a pretty decent budget.
I mean, I tried the music and stuff that went with it. I think it went pretty well. It made the things more suspenseful than it really was. I mean, better than some of the other ones I've seen. That's for damn.
Yeah,
I'm not a demonic possession, ghost, paranormal type of guy. I think it's cringe. Like I'm a slasher, gut you, cut you up, carve you, motherfucker. Like That's just my personal side. I think it under-delivered, in my personal opinion. You know, it was a carbon copy of Chucky.
I don't think it was a carbon copy.
Besides, the best part, hey, the actors were cringeworthy. The best actor was the son, and his one-liner made the whole movie. The one line when he said, "Play with this bitch,"
Right?
I lost it. Like, that was the best part of the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, there was some there was some interesting one-liners in there. Even the doll kind of had some little like funny one-line sentences every once in a while, like when they caught that overnight worker that was in the warehouse right before he fucking got his hand stuck on that sewing machine and then had a heart attack. Fucking one of the dolls came out and was like, surprise! It was fucking funny, but you know.
But the little boy holding up a double barrel shotgun and saying,
"Oh
"Play
yeah,
with this bitch."
yeah." It was a good line, and it was a good scene. They definitely did the effects good. I mean, all the effects that they did use in there were good. I mean, there was really nothing that was bad out of the actual, you know, special effects that they did, because the only CGI of that whole entire thing was the little fucking weird red demon things that come out of the tomb, and that was it.
Yeah,
So that was corny as shit.
Well, at the time they didn't have CGI like what we got now. So for the time,
look a little better, like some smoke or something. Like, they didn't have to make these little red beams. Like,
for the time, it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. I've seen far worse, far worse. But I am very surprised that it was Lionsgate. So that tells me that it most likely had a pretty decent budget. And I mean, you did have Ed Gale, and you had Rip Torn, and it's got some pretty well-known actors and actresses that played in that movie. That are, some of them are still acting today, and unfortunately, Rip Torn isn't. Rest in peace, because he died a couple of years ago. Pretty sure it was a couple of years ago. I guess I'm big on this one because you guys know that I like my fucking creature features, and I love. I don't know why I'm a sucker for fucking dolls, but for some reason I'm a big fan of Puppet Master. I'm a big fan of the movie dolls. I'm a fan of all of that. So I like the doll movies. I think they're cool as long as they're done right and they don't look shitty. You know, I'm a fan. The creep factor was definitely there because there was a lot of creepy shit that went on that fucking movie. I agree kind of 50-50 with Mike and with Mojo. Like, it was kind of droney at first, but there was a lot of elements to it. There was suspense to it. There was horror to it. You know, you had the good visual effects. I feel like there could have been a lot more dialogue. Somebody actually found something on it. Movie grossed $2.4 million.
Wow.
That's not bad for a horror film back then.
It is.
Yeah, no, that's
for its time. It definitely, I think, brought out some things that.
Look at this. This movie is often considered a clone of Child's Play.
Yeah, that's from magazines. Fuck them.
No,
it ain't no damn clone.
I will say, any movie with a doll is going to be compared to Child's Play,
Yeah,
whether they should like favorably or not. I mean, it's
that was just like, I put that up for discussion on my Instagram, and I actually had a few other podcasts that commented on it, and all of them commented the same and was like, "This is not a clone of Child's Play, and here's why." And they put their shit out. I don't think it's a clone either. I don't.
Killer doll played by Ed Gale that was possessed. What the fuck do you?
How many fucking little people did you have in Hollywood back then? Ed Gale was like the only one.
It doesn't matter. That makes it concrete.
Okay.
No.
Flashing.
Possessed.
What, Mojo?
Who's the original person that went around slashing? And then how many other ones came after that? So everyone after that, according to what you're saying.
No, they don't have the same. They don't have the exact same plot.
Neither did this one.
Neither did this one.
It was a killer doll who was possessed.
It's somebody changing.
Yeah, Chucky wasn't possessed. It was still him.
No, it was. The doll was possessed.
No, it was
The
his
doll was possessed by Chucky.
Yeah, but this wasn't a human being that purposely put their soul into the doll.
No.
This was a Aztec god that
like I said, it has the same thesis, the same bones. It's a clone.
No, that is not the same. Not even close.
Okay, I'm wrong. Just
doll.
No way.
Let's just all agree to disagree.
I'm definitely going to agree to
Their
disagree.
own. We know.
It's all right.
It was a
Somebody did find the budget.
Exactly. Thank you.
I hope that's right.
That's
I
about
hope
what
that's
it was
right.
worth.
Because if that is right, they made fucking bank. If that is right, they made bank.
Made bank. Shit,
Where the hell that's?
Oh, that's
Yeah, because if you have a
funny.
budget of $345.74 and it brought in $2.4 million,
That was
you
the catering
fucking
budget.
bank.
That was the
You-
catering budget.
You banked.
That's hilarious.
You did really fucking good. I doubt that was the budget just because of especially Ed Gale. Ed Gale had to be worth more than that. So, I mean, Ed Gale did, fucking, I'm pretty sure Ed Gale was in Star Wars. Actually, I know he was in Star Wars, but I can't remember what all characters Ed Gale played. He was in Howard the Duck. He was in Chucky. He's been in 50 million other movies and was in a lot of movies before this ever even came out. I mean, during that period of the early 80s to the mid 90s, Ed Gale was between him and Warwick Davis, those were the two most sought out, little people actors that were used the most. Do what?
He was in Spaceballs.
He was in Spaceballs. That doesn't surprise me either.
Bill and Ted.
He was in Bill and Ted.
Mom and Dad saved the world. Love that.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
Tom.
so I know he had to be worth more than that. Ain't no way. I know what they say. I ain't worried about what they say.
It's funny though that everything I'm looking at says the same thing, but
It's all a bunch of movie critics just like us. I mean, you can have your opinion, but I say it's horseshit.
I don't see anything.
But it's everybody. I'm not seeing one that doesn't say it.
Can you hear me?
Right.
What?
He was not in Star Wars.
Oh, he wasn't in Star Wars? I thought he was. I know.
Warwick Davis was in Star Wars.
Yeah, because Warwick Davis played. I know he played an Ewok, but he was also something. He also played something else in there. I know he was more than just an Ewok. He was a background character in Episode 1 of Star Wars. He was in Star Wars because he was in the background. Because I could show you the scene where he was in it.
He's not credited.
Oh, well, that's some horse shit. Because he played himself, just himself, not a creature. But Warwick Davis was in the scene where Anakin was the little boy Anakin. He was getting ready to do the pod race. And there's a scene where you see Jabba the Hutt.
Warwick Davis, you talking about the other guy?
Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis was definitely in Star Wars.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. But I thought Ed Gale was an Ewok.
Wicket.
Oh, he was also Wicket. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's in a cut scene in Episode 1. If you look at Jabba the Hutt, when Jabba comes out, and you look off to the left of Jabba, you actually see fucking Warwick Davis pop up with like this crazy hair, and he's just as himself in like a fucking robe, like one of the fucking Jawas where
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That
you
is
see him
amazing.
pop up for just a split second. You got to pay real close attention, but you'll see him
That
pop
is
up
great.
just for a second. But if you pause it, you see him clear as day. You're like, oh shit, there's Warwick Davis. Because I was rewatching episode 1 the other day, and I was like, that fucking Warwick Davis. And I went back, and sure as shit, there he
Credited for
was.
He was also the Leprechaun in every
Yeah, he
Leprechaun
was
movie.
Leprechaun. I know. We know you hate the Leprechaun.
Oh, Leprechaun.
She's terrified of Leprechaun.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Terrible.
I do love me some Leprechaun.
Mm-mm. He even did the Leprechaun movie like where he wasn't scary and I couldn't watch it.
No, I love me some Leprechaun.
Oh, but I mean, well, okay. Before we get into the last bits of Dolly Dearest, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Maybe, yeah. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. My bad.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
All right. So I have a question. If you were going to remake Dolly Dearest today, who would you get to rewrite it and direct it?
Before we answer that, can we go back to that commercial we just had? I'm sorry, that slut. I love the sluts for Smuts promo. Every time I see that, I get like a little tingle in the.
Oh my God.
Anyway, okay. Now that that's out of the
So
way,
you just need to watch their show at Tuesday nights at 10:30.
I guess you're just seeing a little tingle. Okay, now we can proceed. Anyway.
All right. So if you were going to have somebody remake Dolly Dearest today, who would you get to rewrite it and redirect it?
Actually, I don't know who wrote it, but I think somebody who could actually handle dolls well and go all out. Actually, I think it might have been the same director. The guy who did Small Soldiers, might have been the same one who did Gremlins. Remember that? Small Soldiers in the 90s?
Yeah, I remember Small Soldiers.
Yeah.
But was that the same guy who did Gremlins as well? Was that Dante? The same
I
director?
I don't know. I don't know. That's intriguing. That's intriguing.
Think of Small Soldiers.
Joe
but the
Dante.
horror version.
Yeah, Joe Dante did do Small Soldiers.
Okay. So he also did Gremlins. So he's well versed in killer shit.
I mean, he's also well versed in using animatronics and puppeteering because not only did Joe Dante do Gremlins, but he also did American Werewolf in London.
He did.
Yes, he did. That was
take the horror and American Werewolf, pair that with animatronics with some Gremlins and Small Soldiers, but make it up into a more of a killer doll version. It could be some edge to it potentially. Depends on how mainstream you want it, right? This is my spiel.
Nothing.
How mainstream do you want this?
I have to agree with you because there's nothing that I can think of that Joe Dante did that I don't like or that wasn't good.
I mean, if you want to go full grindhouse trauma with something like this, you could. But if you want to keep it a little more mainstream, I think Dante could handle it. You know.
Okay. All right, Mojo, who you got?
I'm gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna go for Tim Burton this time.
Ooh.
I would for it be like step up those style, not the regular, PG. Everybody gets to have a cool Tim Burton. I'm like slasher style Tim Burton. Like you like tear apart the doll and the freaking heart's still pounding. You know what I mean? Like something that can really like take it to a completely different level, and it's not like Chucky, a different way.
I mean, it'd be very like dark and macabre. I mean, that's what Tim Burton was known for.
Yeah,
was
of it, and to make it
very, very gothic overtones. I mean, he'd obviously put the doll in a damn like black Victorian type dress, and
yeah.
Okay, I can get on board with that one too. I can get on board with that. All right, Easy, who you got?
The only person I would trust to make this fucking even watchable would be Rob Zombie.
Okay.
I mean, I would like to see Rob Zombie do something with animatronics and stuff like that. I mean,
definitely be interesting. Could definitely be interesting.
Now, Rob Zombie's like me, he's a big lover of the, practical effects.
Right.
Rob Zombie's never been one to use hardly any CGI. So obviously it would definitely be extremely gory. I can't really say shit about that one either. The one I'm going to go with, and he's one of my favorites, and just because I feel like if he could give it like the Evil Dead tone to it a little bit, I feel like Sam Raimi would be cool as shit to see take a swing at it, just because of Sam Raimi did do the Evil Dead series, and it was great, and I'm sure he would try to add comedy to it, because Sam Raimi to me is kind of like one of the godfathers of horror comedy. I think it would be really fucking cool to see Sam Raimi take a shot at it.
Oh yeah,
I think so too. I mean, that's pretty sound thing to me. It'd be an interesting one.
But I really like the whole Tim Burton or Joe Dante thing. That's to me is very, very intriguing.
It depends on how spicy and bloody you want it. Both have their merit. It depends on the tone you're going for, the atmosphere, right? You could also, if you want it, and since you said Sam Raimi, if you wanted to notch that up even further into the whole, not goth, but the whole like late 90s goth horror they did, I don't know who directed it. Mancini probably wrote it, but I don't think he directed Bride of Chucky. Whoever directed that one, because you had that whole, metal-ish atmosphere, in a killer doll movie. So again, that's
right.
Not from the writing aspect, from just the, the atmospheric production. Again, depending on that would be close to Burton style, but again, depends on how extreme you want.
It's funny you said Mancini, because that's who I was. That was my runner-up, was Mancini and Tom Holland, just to make it funny.
Yeah.
Okay. So next, who would you get to voice Dolly?
You didn't even ask me.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Hold on. Who would you get to direct?
I would probably, I'd pick probably Diablo Cody. I don't know if any of you know who she is. She directed Jennifer's Body, which is one of my favorite movies, and it would also add an element of funny, but also kind of fucked up.
I totally fucking forgot about that movie. I actually like that movie. That was actually a good movie.
Oh.
All right, so who would you get to voice Dolly, Mike?
Again, it's not a simple answer, because
No.
It's not a simple. Okay, but here's the thing: if you get an actor if you cast somebody for their personality, it's no longer Dolly Dearest. It's almost a Chucky, right? So if you want to keep it subdued, like the same plot where it's minimal talking, monotonous, you have to know what you're casting for. So again, you have to be careful. You got to know what tone you're going for, right? If you cast a wise, cackling, outgoing person, it's not quite the same thing. So again, what are you going? Which tone are you going for? That being said, if you're keeping the same vein as the original, possessed, scratchy voice, very just creepy, then you can almost get. A lot of people fit that bill, right? But if you're going for more of a Chucky-ish style, then you cast somebody who's known for that. But I don't know. Short answer is that one stumps me because that could be a number of things.
All right, Mojo, who you got?
I'm having a hard time figuring it out, to be honest with you. Like, I would go like old school style and like be like the Elvira chick and make it like super creepy, or like just bust out somebody that's like older, just an old grandma voice, somebody that doesn't like nobody knows.
See,
Okay.
yeah.
See who you got. Who would voice Dolly?
I'm coming back. I'm tying all of it back in. I said Rob Zombie, so I'm Sherry Moon Zombie. Come on. Fucking her little giggle that she does as Baby Firefly. Could you imagine that?
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
I could see that.
All right, dear, who you got?
The hard one.
I don't fucking know.
Mine's way out in the field.
I would, first name that popped in my mind was probably like Sarah Paulson. I'm sure she could pull it off.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Now, think about this before I say it, because this is actually a musician that I would voice her. Think about her regular natural voice when she's talking, not when she's singing, but when she's talking. If you've ever seen interviews with her and you threw maybe like a little bit of like a reverb on there a little bit on the audio, it could, because she's already got the naturally raspy voice. But I'm going to go with Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. Or Fantasia and make it all super creepy. Y'all talking like this, man.
Yeah,
that is definitely
Miley could work though.
Yeah, I mean it's outside the box, but yeah, that's
Well, Linda Blair was not the voice of the demonic Reagan. That was a whole different woman. Linda Blair played Reagan, the body of it, but when she was possessed, that was not Linda Blair who voiced her. That was a completely different woman.
So that would be interesting to have the name, but yeah, that was not. It'd be a first for being, the possessed, the voice part of it.
J-Lo keeps naming all these people who are dead.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
Betty White.
All right, so we're going to get into favorite scenes. Overall, what was your favorite scene? Whether it doesn't have to be a kill, but just overall favorite scene. What was your favorite scene? Dear, what you got for favorite scene?
Oh, so not from favorite kill scene, just favorite scene in general.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a kill scene. It doesn't matter.
Well, then if we're doing that, then I have two.
Okay.
Obviously, the one with the brother shoots the fucking doll. That shit was funny. And then probably the death of the Hispanic lady where she got electrocuted.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, that little scream that she did when the doll pops up from the staircase and screams is creepy as shit. Like, it was fucking creepy.
That poor lady got fucked up.
Yeah, she did.
Fell down the steps, and she got stabbed, and then she got...
Yes.
That is the same woman.
That's the lady that played the chick that killed Selena.
Yep.
In the Selena movie. I knew it was as soon as I saw it. I was like, hey.
Hey,
Holy
well,
shit.
That's her karma then. Fuck that bitch.
I did not put those two together. That is...
All right, Mike Slash. We gotta have the Slash point of view on this. So
goddamn right. Well, just for favorite scene,
that's it.
there's not really a lot. So I'll save the kill for later. Favorite scene? I think I alluded to this earlier. When you have the mom coming around, like tiptoeing towards the chair, camera slowly panning around to the chair, the doll sitting there. She's asking where the daughter. It's just very. It was a good scene. They had some suspense. The acting sold it. The doll was speaking. It was just one of the first times that the mom was talking to the doll. The way that panned out, I liked it. It's like, this is creepy. This is suspenseful. Again.
Okay.
The scenes that did really well. That's one of them.
All right, Mojo, what you got?
I like the whole caretaker maid pick. I liked that, after she fell down the stairs, she got shanked. And and also when she got electrocuted, it was more realistic, to be honest with you, than what some people do, because they usually over dramatic, like it's just not right. That's not what it looks like. So, and I'm very particular on those type of things. Even though the gore wasn't that bad, that much, I liked that scene. And then I liked when the hand got sewn, because that was overly dramatic, but there was lots of blood, so that was cool.
Okay. Easy, what you got?
I already told you earlier in the shows, play with this bitch.
Mine is not a kill scene, but the scene itself was very surreal and very creepy. And that's when the mom walked into the room and the doll was in the chair, and it does that weird angle shot. And then the doll slowly turns its head. She starts snarling and shit, and then talking to her. And that just was like, that fucked me up when I was a kid. That like made the damn hairs on my arms stand. And I was like ready to pee myself like instantly. I don't know why that scene bothered me so bad as a kid, but it fucked my whole entire world up. Was my
scene? That was my scene. Damn it!
Yeah, and that scene just, God, it fucked me up so bad. But I did like the scene in the hallway where he blew her through that fucking door. That was a good scene, especially when you could tell, like, whenever he fucking shot it off and the expression they had the doll's face of, oh fuck, and he blows her ass away. That would have been my second. But before we get into our final ratings, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. All right, y'all, don't miss Hellfire Lounge. That is starting not this coming weekend, not Super Bowl weekend, but the weekend after that, Saturday nights, 9 o'clock, Hellfire Lounge. So, anyways, now we're getting to the point of our ratings. This one was kind of hard for me because there's a lot about this movie that I absolutely love, and there was a lot of stuff that I didn't like and wish would have been changed a little bit. I do think the beginning of the movie, like we said before, was a little slow to go. I feel like they could have sped it up a little bit, added a little bit more stuff. I feel like they should have got the kills up a little bit. If they would have added some more gore and guts to it, it would have made it a little bit better. I am going to give it a 6.5 is what I'm giving. All right, dear, what you got?
I was going to say 6.
So, okay. Mojo, what you got?
Oh, I was going for 6. I even have it written down.
Okay. All right, Easy, what you got?
3.
3. All right, we got the slash point of view for the very last. Save it for the last.
Hey, we're learning. We're learning. I mean, at risk of repeating myself for all of us, I think we've kind of covered the bases, right? It has some slowing parts, not really many kills, not much gore. Doll itself was creepy, decent acting. You know, we've said it from here and back. That being said, I give it a 5.5.
Okay, 5.5, which equals out to. Whoo! It barely doesn't get Buzz killed. Barely. Barely.
Here, huh?
Barely. It's a final score of 5.4. Barely surpassed.
Maybe I was too generous with that extra half a point. Maybe I should have said 5.
Barely surpasses. Barely. Only by a 0.4 does it survive. Woo! That was so close. I think that's the closest one that we've ever had.
I think so too.
Almost Buzz.
Ask me on a different night, maybe I would have said a 4.5. I don't know, but right now, it did some other things okay, so 5.5. But on a different night, maybe I would have answered differently.
More gore.
Yeah, definitely more gore. I wish they would have, put her in a little bit more scenes. But for what they had her in, there was a lot of cool stuff. The warehouse scenes were really good.
Wrong show.
The
Hey,
visuals.
Right?
I found Micah Strawberry, guys.
Okay.
The visuals were good. So on that, next week, by request of Kitty, we will be doing Poltergeist, the original one. So yeah, we will be doing Poltergeist next Thursday. Please make sure you catch out Sluts for Smut Tuesday nights at 10:30. Chronic Sports. Obviously, we're going to be covering the aftermath of the Super Bowl this next Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll have a world champion.
I'm making a prediction right now. I'm making a prediction.
Go ahead.
After the Chiefs win the Super Bowl,
Yes.
Taylor Swift and Kelsey are going to get engaged. Watch.
I seen that today.
He's going to propose after they win the championship.
Okay.
So on that, check us out. We've got Hellfire Lounge coming to you the weekend after Super Bowl. Caffeine injection is coming at some point. It's still in the works, but it is coming. Caffeine injection will be coming. We're working on some other shows. We do have our comic book that's currently in production. It is not finished, but it is in the process of being created. We've got the animated film that's probably slated for some time in 2025. On that, keep watching, keep following, keep sharing us. We love you guys. We're getting the fuck out of here. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Boom.
Rap Patrol. Don't be a fool.
Yep, that too. Okay. Yep.